Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome back to Let's Play Moons of Madness. This is episode 10, and I assume this really has to be the final episode this time. Last time we headed into the Martian ruins, and had to dodge some sandworms, and then our last two remaining crew members died to shadow people, or something. And now we need to stop the moons, which have aligned. I don't even think we can see them from here. By, I guess, slamming the Invictus into them? Or into the rift they've created? Because we tried to start the Gaia engine, and it turns out that wasn't a great idea. Okay, so we need to launch this thing.
Something got here before me. Not good.
Can I close the door? Nope. Don't tell me our tentacle monster is still chasing us. Well, something got here and opened all of the doors. So I wonder, is this where they initially were living when they first landed? Before moving to the main base? Or is this just here in case? I mean, looks like someone was sleeping here. I'm sure that's totally fine. So I guess this is just going to lead us right into the rocket. Solar Site, Trailblazer Alpha. I guess we can't do anything with that. Alright. So this doesn't connect, but it is the control room. Store power to the Invictus, board and launch the Invictus. What? Oh look, tentacles. But still not the tentacles from the main menu. These are just black goop tentacles. Like, I wonder if the actual sucker-tipped tentacles were from the initial design of the game before, you know, they had to turn it into the secret world. They're like, okay, let's just stick with the tentacles, but we'll make them black goopy tentacles now. Well, I mean, that would have been worse if...
No! Not now! They're going to destroy the ship!
It wasn't already depressurized. Out of the way, tentacles.
There's movement under the sand. Those things are back.
It does present a problem, because there's not a lot of ground to stand on here. And it looks like I do have to, you know, go around the meerkat. Let's see if I can get a shot of the tentacles with the spaceship.
That rock should be safe.
Sort of a decently framed shot, but that one tentacle's not really behaving. Okay, so can I get to that rock? I'm sprinting. I mean, I assume that these piles of dirt are actually worms, but also a worm will just kill you if you're on the ground for too long, even if there isn't one of those near you.
Made it! I hope to God the ship holds together.
I mean, it'll hold together as long as the tentacle doesn't grab it. But, like, are these tentacles even attached to anything, or are they just spooky tentacles coming out of the sand? I'm also wondering now if Shane even knows how to operate the Invictus. Like, you'd think they would all be trained on it. But then they had a crew of like 7 or something like that, so they might not have all actually been in the control room. Are those beds on the walls or just cushions? I mean, unless they invented a much faster engine, they would have been on this ship for months traveling to Mars. So they would have had to live on it. But it doesn't look very livable.
Getting close. Just need a little more time. I never thought I'd be leaving Mars this way.
Wait, how did you think you were leaving Mars if not in a ship?
Lucas, Ina, Josie, Declan. This one's for you.
Hey, don't forget
Everything
we
needs to
killed
be
Ina.
clean. This is it.
You notice he doesn't say Lucas there, though. It's like, no, Lucas was a psychopath. And he probably would have killed somebody on the crew. Detonate payload. Codename Mars Sucks. I don't know. Make sure everything's green. In no particular order. This is like the same fucking control panel from earlier.
Now, starting the countdown.
9, 8,
Close your eyes. Cross your fingers. Come on.
Doesn't even let me look at the screen as we take off. Groans of G-force causing discomfort.
Clear up the atmosphere. Trajectory is set for orbit. What do we do next? Mom? Mom, are you there? Holy shit! What's happening?
Don't we have to steer the ship towards the moons?
This is everything you are. Just you alone.
So this is the part where we have to jump from one ship to the other, right?
Time for what?
At the end of The Martian?
Hush, my sweet boy. It's almost over.
No! This is wrong! You want to release those things!
They must be free, so that I can be freed. You destroyed the Gaia engine with your corrupted hands. Please, Shane, help me.
I'm going to destroy reality so that I don't have to be a witch anymore. The ship looks fine there. It doesn't look like the nose ripped open.
I'm ready. Mars sucks.
So did they make a bomb out of the metal? Because they just said they dumped a bunch of that metal onto the Invictus. Also, I like that the red is just a ring around the actual moons. So did we kill the 2 elder gods, or like a physical manifestation of them? We sent them back to the other side. And then Shane just suffocates in space. But at least we saved reality from our stupid mother. Our stupid, selfish mother.
Astronomers continue to be baffled by the sudden disappearance of the moons of Mars.
Yeah, look, Mona Marshall doing fucking 5-directional duty here.
NASA has called a press conference to address the speculation that a manned secret mission to Mars.
Suppose that is one secret that Orochi's not going to be able to keep. Wait, these are some really large credits. So I wasn't sure if this game had multiple endings, because I heard people talking about the endings, but I'm not sure if that's just like what happens after the credits, what happens before the credits. I don't think there's an option where we're like, yeah, okay, we'll just awaken the dreamers. Maybe if we don't launch the payload? Also, I had like 80% oxygen. I wouldn't have suffocated yet. Also, there's the sun. What's next to it? Is that Earth? I feel like you wouldn't be able to see Earth with the naked eye from here. I mean, you can see Mars from Earth, so I guess sometimes you would be able to see Earth from Mars. Probably not that big, though. But yeah, I feel like this is a temporary victory at best. Which, you know, that part at least is a little bit Lovecraftian, but there really wasn't any reason for this game to try to label itself as a Lovecraftian space horror when it was pretty much just a typical, you know, secret world, eldritch horror of our own kind of thing. There was, yeah, they borrowed some relays and some, here's the Necronomicon and whatnot, but most of it was just their own kit bash of aspects, which is usually what you get with not great Lovecraft stuff. And there really isn't a lot of great Lovecraft stuff. It's kind of almost better as just an aesthetic than it is as a game, because you can't really capture the kind of dread when a character in a Lovecraft story realizes how fucked the world is, you know, how little humans matter. Some of them survive it, some of them don't go mad, but generally they live their life perpetually afraid of what exists. Kind of like how Lovecraft was perpetually afraid of everybody who wasn't white. And then one day, he wasn't. And there's Funcom with their big shitty logo. I've never heard anything good about them as a publisher. It seems like they just kind of ruin everything they touch. Like, you know, some games get made that wouldn't otherwise without their backing, but it sounds like they've also just kind of meddled with every single game that they've touched. And this was no difference. This was like, hey, tie it into our dead MMO property that we might bring back in an even worse form. Which they did. They did bring back the Secret World in an even worse form than before. I wonder if these credits are so large that they can take forever to go by. Yeah, so it was a disappointing game. I just want to clarify that. You know, I gave it a chance. I kind of stuck with it. Kept focused with the lore. And it was just you know? Nothing really that cool ever happened. They didn't really use the Mars setting to great effect beyond, hey, sometimes you suffocate if you're not paying attention, but that's about it. I feel like they could have gone more mechanics heavy on it than they really did. Instead of just... It's more of a thematic thing than an actual mechanic thing, the oxygen. It's like, yeah, it's a space game, so you gotta have filling up your oxygen. Yep, this is not even, you know, the credits are just in-game. As we slowly drift away from the Red Planet, probably to never be found. Also, what's that star over there? I also like that we're dead, but it can still look around with Shane's head. So, do you think his mother is dead now? Like, was her existence bound to being infected by the Dreamers? Or is she just forever trapped in the nothing space of the nothing Mars? Because I feel like the place we ended up early in the game was supposed to be inside one of the moons. But of course, it could just be another dimension entirely, or, you know, the spaces between. These are the people we have to blame for the game being just kind of eh. Do you really... 4 people seems like a lot for a narrative for a game like this, so it might have been a little bit of everyone trying to do their own thing. Release management. This is also someone we have to blame, because it was their fault that the game had to be rushed out with the new Secret World stuff bolted onto it. I still think you can do good space horror. Like, even the new Prey almost was horror. It wasn't quite there because the mimics are really not that scary aside from, oh shit, that fucking teacup just launched at my face because it's actually a mimic. But that's like jump scary. But I still think that was closer to good space horror because it was kind of an oppressive setting as you go on. Even if the ending's kind of eh. Alright, we have to almost be at the end. Half of this episode is going to be just the credits. I didn't realize that so little would happen after we took off. But that's the thing when you're playing a game that you haven't played before. You never know where exactly to make the cut points. You just have to kind of go what seems the logical progression. Oh my god, there's another company. I don't think we're actually moving, by the way. Like, it looks like we're moving, but I don't think we actually are. So I suppose you wouldn't really be able to tell too well, since Mars is going to take up most of our view from where we are, no matter what. We're not moving very quickly, even if we are moving. But yeah, I'm hoping that someday we'll get a better Mars horror game than this. Presumably with no fucking around from Funcom. There's some other games like this I'm kind of interested in that might be better. Like, I've heard good things about Canarium, which is kind of a take on At the Mountains of Madness, but it is a lot of, I think, just walking around and reading notes about existential horror. But I've heard good things about that, and I did not hear great things about this game when it came out, which is why I didn't cover it when it first released. I was like, I'll wait on it. I would still like to do a playthrough as well of Deliver Us the Moon, which is no longer called Deliver Us the Moon Fortuna, now that it is a complete game and not just half of a game. I'm not sure if that ever got really a good conclusive ending, but I know they did add on the rest of the game that they said they were going to eventually, after like 3 years of developing it. Oh boy, here comes another company. I was, figuring there's going to be something after the credits, but then the credits just lasted 100 years. There's not even much to look at. Can look at his hand, can look at the sun, cloud of gas, where the moons used to be, or the planet. That's really about all we can see from here. Can't even turn my head to the left. Okay, I think we're getting close to the end here. Lead user researcher. At that point, what do these titles even mean? User researchers. How do you research users before the game is out? Okay, there's the Unreal logo, so we are definitely at the end now, because they always get bottom billing. Which, you know, with the way that Epic's been going the last few years, they don't really deserve top credit for anything. Could be wrong, but isn't Funcom a Korean publisher? And that's why they have so much scummy MMO practices jammed into everything? Like, name me a Korean publisher that makes MMOs that doesn't have scummy bullshit. Okay, we sat through those credits for no fucking reason. Alright, gonna see here if we get an option to not launch the rocket. Or if it'll just be like, but thou must.
Shit! There's movement under the sand.
Alright, well, let me skip ahead. Actually, what we'll do here... Oh. Shane, can you just not get eaten for 1 second? What we'll do here is I will skip ahead, but we'll call it here for Moons of Madness, say this is the end, and if there does turn out to be another ending, I will staple it on to the end. But otherwise, I've been Shadefyre, thanks for tolerating Moons of Madness with me, and I hope you'll join me for better games in the future.
Shit! There's movement under the sand.
But
those things are back!
Until next time, take care, everyone.
Release those things.
But it's not over yet, because there is in fact another ending.
You destroyed the Gaia engine.
And as I thought, you get the bad ending by not firing the rocket.
Shane, help me.
Oh, I just realized now we are actually out of oxygen. I didn't look down last time. Nah, let's just sit here and wait. You know, between this game and the park, there seems to be a theme of shitty mothers between these tie-ins
They are free.
to the secret world.
What's happening? You can't do this! Stop!
I like how it still poofs into the same explosion.
This is not the end. There is no end. There is no escape.
And then Shane became one with the tentacles. I'm gonna laugh when it just cuts to the credits in the exact same way. Oh, well, at least the view's different. There's the dreamer.
Astronomers continue to be baffled by the sudden disappearance of the moons of Mars.
And the sudden appearance of giant tentacles in their place. That it? Just the exact same fucking line of dialogue.
NASA has called a press conference to address the speculation.
Yep. They didn't even record a separate one. No, like, terror that this thing is here, because, you know, there's got to be satellites that can record this to some extent. There's a strange object appears to now be floating around the planet Mars, and appears to be moving towards the Earth. I mean, reality didn't end, so clearly that part was wrong. Maybe this thing just wants to, you know, do its own thing. It's not really interested in ending reality. Anyway, that's the real end of this video. There's not going to be a second end of the video. So thanks for joining me. That's Moons of Madness. It was not great, but I had some fun with the game. Anyhow, take care for real, folks.